I guess, yeah. Hey, in fact, here, you talk to Malcolm about it.
Yeah,
and it's basically, yeah. All right, I'm going. Here we go. Check it out. Check it out.
Ryan Kiefer, Blacktop Mojo.
We're here.
Yes.
What's going on, everybody? We are here in Lindale, Texas at Brisket Love. It's a barbecue joint, but also a music venue. Very cool. We got a sold out show tonight, so yeah, if you hadn't heard of it, you should come because the ribs are phenomenal. So. First guitar, we got 4 tonight. Typically on tour, we travel with 3. We carry them in these Quantum cases right here by Quantum Industries. They're killer. So basically my number 1 right now, and I go back and forth between both of them, but it's going to be this Desert Burst. It's 2017, I believe. Anyways, I had this guitar came from another guitar. Basically, one of my Les Pauls at a show had gotten stolen, and I had to get another Les Paul to replace it. So I found this one at Guitar Sanctuary in McKinney, Texas, and you know, at the time, I did not have a lot of money, so I don't know if I'm in liberty to say who loaned me the money, but I paid them back because we were trying to get to the studio, and you know, I was missing a Les Paul, so I had to have it. But anyways, that's how I got this thing, and it's been my number 1 for quite some time. I've played this guitar on every record, but it's been a good one. I like it. It's got a thin tapered neck. It's a standard. The Les Paul that I had was I think it was a Studio Deluxe. So that's that one right there. So yeah, this is also another standard. This was like I said, I go back and forth between this one and the Desert Burst, but this is another one that I really like. It's actually this one was given to me through a good buddy of ours. His name's Ryan. So what had happened was he wanted another gold top that I've had for years and always hounded me about it jokingly. And every time he'd see me, he'd be like, hey, give me that gold top you got. And you know, I never would. So I had another friend who had this one for sale, and I texted him, and he ended up buying it off that guy. Well, a year and a half later, he comes to a show and brings it so I could play it, and I played it during the show, and handed him the guitar back, and he said, "No, that's yours." I was like, "What?" He said, "No, you need to play that. It just sits in my closet." I was like, I mean, it's definitely a blessing to have good friends, you know. So this killer guitar, it's a little bit wider neck this way.
But they're both standards. But the necks
they're both standards. Neck's a little bit different feeling, and this one's probably a bit, I would say, brighter than the Desert Burst.
Different pickups?
No, I think they're the same. I think they're both, what do you call them, burst buckers?
The tone wood. The
tone wood. So that's, so this one's, yeah, smidge brighter. That Desert Burst is actually pretty dark. So, and then the third one here is a very new addition, a new flavor, I might add. This is I guess they call them performers, Telecaster. It is a 23, but I was like, man, you know, I need something a little different for some of the songs that we do, and you know, you can get bored with just playing one guitar, so why not have, you know, a different one for. So basically, I break this out for songs like Tail Lights and just different things like that. But I went into a place called, we have a music store here locally, kind of local, Hawkins, Texas. It's called Action Sound, and I went in there for something. I think my brother-in-law wanted they had a Friedman there that he wanted to try to maybe get. And so we went and checked that out, and I saw this hanging on the wall, and I just grabbed it and picked it up, and I was like, dang, I kind of like this. And I had another guitar actually with me. It was an acoustic, and I traded for it. So that's how I acquired this. But it's a good workhorse guitar, you know. It's already got the knob, the switcher knob there popped off. But
yeah, well, hey, that's a telly, man.
There you go, pop. You know, you can't do that without it popping off. And now you got to be careful because you'll cut your hand off with this blade here. But okay, and then there's one more guitar. This one's a Les Paul Classic.
So it's about 20 pounds.
It's about 20,000 pounds. I believe it's a 2002. Yep, 2002. So early 2000s. But it's really cool, man. It's got its own thing. The bridge pickup's kind of got its own mid honkiness, but it's the good honk. I don't know how else to put it. I don't know. Is there such thing as a good honk?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think there's
It's got that Jason Isbell type.
Yeah.
I don't know. That you hear the Les Pauls, guys. It's got that classic sound. That classic sound to it, right? Classic. Anyways, so we're playing a couple songs in standard tonight, so I brought this one instead of my other gold top because you'd hate to get things confused, you know.
Totally. Yeah.
So
they're different tunings.
they're different tunings. Yep. All these guitars will be played tonight. It's I don't really have a backup tonight, but we'll figure something out if something happens. But
So this one's in standard tuning?
this one's in standard. Yep.
Okay, and the other ones are drop D?
The Desert Burst is C sharp, drop C sharp. The gold top's in whole step down, C, and then the telly's in like E flat. Anyways, moving on. So this is my board. This is where it all kind of is being controlled from. Move this cable here.
This is where the magic happens.
That's where the magic happens. So this was actually, I know we had talked about the rig before. This was actually added. I don't have a whole lot going on, but what I do like, the option of having a switcher is my just kind of programming everything to one button, and instead of pedal dancing, because that kind of messes me up because my brain is already overloaded with everything. so
everything's on.
Everything's on. Yep. So basically what you do, and it's really easy to program, I can go through it real quick, but how I program, let's say if I want to do a clean patch for some delay or whatever, you click the manual button, and so like pedal 6 is reverb. I got them kind of labeled there. Reverb and delay, and then the clean channel on the amp, and then you hit right there, and it saves. So every time I switch back to that, those pedals will be activated, which is really cool because, you know, like patch 5, I have reverb, delay, and then the gravy pedal, and it's kind of a tri-chorus thing I got going on for some songs. And then I always use volume knobs on guitars too, but like just some songs, man, I like the volume pedal just to kind of do swells with. And then I've had the Mark Tremonti wall since 2007.
So let's talk about signal chain.
Yep.
You're coming out from your guitar into the wah. Is that the first thing in your chain?
Guitar, wah, into the Dunlop. The Tumnus, so we go from Dunlop to tuner into, this is actually 1 and 2, into that, and that's a Love Eternity drive, which is actually turning into one of my favorite drive pedals. So, you know, for this set tonight, I kind of got it set for like a more of a classic rock setting, but it's just cool. But anyways, it's loud as crap, but it's a neat thing. It sounds good with the Bad Cat. So it has its own thing. So that's going from that to the Tumnus. And really, there's what's cool about the switcher also is you can actually digitally move the order of these. So if you get, so I don't have to move a pedal. Like if I wanted the Love after the Tumnus, I don't have to move it off the board. I can just switch it in here, and the loop switches the order. So which is a cool thing. And then this goes into a Boss equalizer, and then after the equalizer, that's basically my loop right there. So equalizers for like just boosting my signal, and I might turn a little bit of mid up for leads, and depending on the night, I might back off a little bass, and Yeah, got to do that. And so that's what that's for. These are really cool. This is the tri-chorus. It's got 3 different settings on it. It's got a tri-chorus setting. It's called a tone print setting, and a vibrato. The wobbly gravy is what I call it.
I like wobbly gravy.
Yeah. And then my wife got this for my birthday this year, and it's an Orion. I had a Strymon timeline, but it didn't fit on this. Didn't fit on this board, so I wanted something so I didn't have to spend, another $100 or $200-300 on a bigger board.
Right on.
And I like to keep it as compact as I can. And then it just goes into the Big Sky, and basically everything, the outs from the switcher go into this buffer, and then it runs out to my amp.
Nice. So what's the buffer? Is that just so you have a strong signal?
Yeah, so it does make a big difference for me.
Yeah.
So you can bypass it, and it can just be a junction box, but it's got a buffer button on here, and it's just buffering to the input to the amp, basically. Okay. And I don't know, I can't remember if it buffers the loop 2. I don't think so.
Okay. What's the brand on this one?
It's Friedman.
Friedman. Okay, gotcha.
Yep. Friedman makes it.
All right.
Yeah. It's really cool. But
nice.
Yeah, really neat.
Nice.
And then I guess the last thing is the old amp. We got a Bad Cat Lynx. I was introduced to them. We were actually doing a Tone Bros episode. Went to Monk Music in Longview, Texas, because I had done a lot of research when we were going through and wanting to get back on tube amps. I was gonna try to get a Friedman if I could find a good deal on one, but Malcolm had already gotten one, so I was like, well, let's get me something different so we can blend together and not, I mean, we sound different anyways because we're different players, but at the same time, this has a totally different EQ thing about it. So I went and tried their whole line out at Monk Music, and really kind of fell in love with the Lynx, man, just because, it's a high gain amp, but it can do other things pretty well. So that's kind of what I was looking for at the time, and stuck with it, and they've been a great company to me. Let's talk about the Zilla cab. We had, the guys went over to the UK for our first UK run, and unfortunately, but fortunately, I couldn't go because I had my first kid, but we got introduced through Joe Harvitt, who filled in for me, good buddy of ours, used to work for Zilla, and so they make custom cabinets. So they had loaned us some over there while we were doing that tour, and then kind of became buddies with those guys, and they offered us to make us some cabinets to bring over to the U.S. and they're killer, man. They sound really good. These are loaded with vintage 30s and greenbacks, so kind of got the X pattern going.
Sweet. Which one do you like?
I do the vintage 30. That's kind of what I'm used to hearing, even though I use the EVH cab for forever, and they got EVH speakers in them. They sound a little bit probably wider and brighter than I guess a vintage 30 would, but it's closer to what I'm used to hearing. But I went this way because in the studio we can kind of have a choice on what particular speaker we want to use, so that's the reason I went there. But it's a killer cab, love it. Yeah, man. So it's fun. Purple haze. That's what they call that, I think. Purple haze, yeah, something like that. But
nice.
Cool
awesome,
Tolex.
Dude.
Yeah.
I think that's good. I think we got it.
Awesome. Hey, check out the Tone Nerds.
Anywhere you wanna go, anywhere the wind blows, always I never